You want to sniff the yarn? Okay. Oh, you think they're treats maybe? Because it's... You think they're treats? They're not treats, it's yarn. No, you can't eat that. Don't eat that. You can't have it. Oh my god. Oh. What are you doing? You can't. It's not a cookie. Welcome to the show, everybody. Today is episode 41, September Dye Project. We just had like a stroke of luck because the landscapers were here at the same time that the trash came down both ways. So I think we're good. We might have some like ambulances or something, but I think we're okay. Yes, September Dye Project. One thing I wanted to point out, because I was watching August Dye Project, and what we didn't do is I didn't show this. And you know, I like all the stuff that we dyed. So this is from August, July Dye Project, that you did not get to see, and it's a little blown out. It is a very much a mustard golden color, so you can get some right in there, some of the differences in the color. But this one, oh, it's, yeah, so you can see the differences in the color right through here. You can see the variations. But anyway, I wanted to pop this in because I realized when I was rewatching last month that I showed you the red one and didn't show you this one. So now you've seen it. So sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to fill you in real quick on the Lola saga because it's been 2 weeks. We have an answer. So I just found out that the skin infection she had was staph. Nobody told me it was staph. She has staph infection on her like lower body, like her whole neck, chest, all of the skin on her underside, where she doesn't have a lot of hair. She does not have Cushing's. She does not have Addison's. She only has low thyroid. So that's one pill twice a day for life, and it's not an expensive pill from what I remember. Anyway, they put her on, she still has the staph infection, so they put her on another antibiotic because they gave her an injected antibiotic. So they gave her a pill antibiotic to continue, and I can take the baths down to once a week instead of every day, and she is ready for it to not be every day. She, like, yesterday the bath, she was like, I'm like trying to jump out of the sink, and like I bathe her in the kitchen sink so I don't have to, you know, hunch down because pain. I don't even live here. So anyway, real glad we're done. Well, basically we're done with baths. So she's fine. And I got to see the doctor that we like, so everything's fine. I have to bring her back in 2 months, and they're going to check her thyroid levels and make sure we're on the right track. And he said her fur should grow back. Her fur should grow back, but it'll probably take a while, like months. He said like it'll probably take a long while. And I was like, I don't care if she can be bald for all I care. I just wanted to find the root of the problem so we could address it. I don't care if my dog goes bald. I can knit her enough sweaters, won't matter. But that's the whole other thing. So I'm really glad everything worked out the way it did. Okay. Is that enough backward stuff? So, what I'm wearing, it's really dark in here today. I think like the sun is changing. Might have to change what time I do this because I don't even know if you can see this. This is my Uru sugared worsted in roses. I've worn this before. It's like a stellina sparkly thing. I was fancy at the vet today. So for finished, we have fingering weight Maya and worsted weight Maya. And I did something different with Maya. So she has, by the way, I have no idea how to block this. I block this terribly. So this one has, I cannot see what you're looking at. Can you see this? Now I can see. Okay, see, she has this yarn over edge. Real pretty, but it's so close to the edge, you're not going to see it, and it really just looks like our Hillary. If you remember Hillary, it's a pretty edge. So you're not even really going to notice. So with this, oh my gosh, I didn't write. I went last night and remeasured all of my shawls, and I'm telling you, they just keep changing. They keep changing how big they are. Hold on. Oh my god, I'm so unprepared. Worsted Maya was 52 by 20. And that's the same as the worsted Linda. Everything else was smaller. So remember worsted Linda, I just showed you DK Linda. It's got all the eyelets, so we knew that was going to be the biggest one. So I'm going to, on next week when we release Dana, I'm going to update all of the Eleanor bases to have this. And I'm also thinking of changing the bind off. But the problem with that is I don't know if this bind off is more than the other bind off, which I won't know until I make another Eleanor, because I don't know how much bind offs these. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So this gave us an extra 2 inches, 52. So Eleanor was 46. So 46 to 52. 48. No, where am I at? Yeah, 46. Was that the DK? No. The DK and the worsted for Eleanor were both 46 across. So now on this one, I mean, we might have more here because of this. So, you know what I mean? Because this isn't the garter. This is the whole, there's some stockinette in here is my point. There's a little bit of stockinette here. So it's not full garter. So I don't know if that could add, I don't think that would add, how many inches is that? 48 to, there's a dog scratching at the door and it's distracting me. 46 to 52. That could be 6 inches we gain just by changing the type of increase. So I still need to do more experiments, but I'm going to change all the patterns. Moving on to whip. One whip this week, and that is Malala on worsted. So I've got her started with the double eyelets, and it's I made this really easy. I wanted this to be also easy. So what I did was on the rows where where you make the double eyelets, I just put a stitch marker through those 2 eyelets together, and then you just have to count 3 that are by themselves. So here's 2. I probably should have put another thing. So you work 3 eyelets and then double eyelets. Then you work another 3 eyelets, double eyelets. Now, what this means is, well, I'm making this to, well, I guess I'm also going to have to remake worsted Eleanor in the new version, because now we don't know. But I can do that in a weekend. That's no big deal at all. It's just like keep remaking the old things. I'm most excited to see how the DK, if we get more out of the DK. So this is the same brand as this. So it's not the Willow. This is 220. This is a Cascade. I think this is Superwash Merino. So this is 220 yards. Right, instead of the 218 yards. I still don't know what to do with the rolling. I don't think rolling really bothers me that much. I'm gonna see what happens with the blocking, because I don't know how else to keep this stretchy without, like, a moss stitch is going to do the same thing. So I did slip the stitch, so I don't know. If you block it and leave it long enough, maybe it'll work. I don't know. But I'm real excited to see what this looks like when we're done. This will give me a better idea of where we're going and if we're going to make it or not. Right? That's my only whip. I have put the shorts on the back burner for right now just because I have so many other things to do. So, did I say everything about my experiments? Did I say everything about... Yeah, these I don't know how to block. That's why they look like crap. So I'm going to have to reblock them before the release of Maya. Because she has the points, right? But then the last point here is just like that. So I'm basically torn between blocking for size like I do and blocking for points, because I don't think you can do both. I tried to do both and I don't think it worked very well. So I mean, I don't know if that works as like a point. I don't know. It kind of looks like a spider web, so I'm like okay with it. I'm not real sure it matters. And on this one, I couldn't remember if I carried the pattern across, so I just gartered this, and it doesn't look terrible. There's not that big of a difference, actually, so you could do either. I think I'm going to do both, but now I'm wondering, like, the Maya fingering 58 by 20 and the Eleanor fingering 58 by 20. So there's no... Oh, this didn't have... Yeah, this didn't... I didn't redo this whole thing. So, okay. So, if we assume that the fingering weight Maya is the same as... Because we know, we just measured. They're both the same. Well, I didn't measure this because I just took the measurements I had of it before, because this is technically... Eleanor with the last 30 grams Maya, which is all Maya is. So if I took that's what I got was 58.20 on Eleanor, and this is 58.20. So we can assume that extra on the Maya, the worsted Maya, the 52 from the 46, that extra 6 inches is from the change in the yarn overs. That's interesting. We'll have to see if that is true. So I'm not sure which ones I'm going to redo, because Maya is the last one. Maya is our last. I only have Sport and DK left, and this entire series is done. So I think I'm just going to rewrite the pattern with the new increases and the new bind off, and let it go from there. See what you guys come up with. That is my plan, okay? So let's get back to this episode. If you ordered Haunted Studio by Haute Yarn, you should have already had your package. If you don't, then look away. I got 2 I bought two. Hi, sweet boy. I bought two mini whatchamacalls. It's Halloween Advents. And oh my god, I saw like this outcry of how dare you use the word Advent for Halloween, because that is Christmas and beholden to the Christians, and oh my god, blasphemers. And I was like, okay, because you know how I am when so whether or not it's an Advent, I don't care. There's only 10. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have absolutely no idea what to make with this, but this is one of the Halloween ones. I also bought the oh crap, I don't remember. It's from Dragon Horde. Is it witch something? I don't remember. It's not specifically Halloween. It was witch something, I think. So anyway, I also bought that one. I have no idea when that one's shipping out. I mean, September just started, so I don't know. However, this is Haute Yarn Haunted Studio Mystery Collection. This is 20 gram Jimmy sock. What? Okay, so I'm going to show them to you if you want to see them. If not, look away. They're super fun. I love these ones over here. These I totally wanted. Haunted House, Witch's Brew. This one I wanted too. And then the Beetlejuice, and these ones are all my favorites, right in the middle. And then these ones are okay. Because, you know, I'm not that big on orange. Well, I mean, I like peach, but orange I'm not too crazy. What do you want? So, the colors are Witch's Stew, Haunted House, Witches and Ghouls. There's a studio exclusive, Cruella de Vil, Goblins in the something, Beetlejuice, Spooky Spooky, Carving Pumpkins, and another studio exclusive. I love this. Here, I'm going to open this. I am just in love with it. I'm on this whatchamacallit, peach kick lately. I don't know what I mean, I've always loved the color peach. I think because I love the color mint green, and it's like, what do you want? What? Do you want up? Oh, do you want up with me? You want to sniff the yarn? Okay. Oh, you think they're treats maybe? Because it's... You think they're treats? They're not treats, it's yarn. No, you can't eat that. Don't eat that. You can't have that. Oh my god. Oh, what are you doing? You can't. It's not a cookie. It's not a cookie. It's not a cookie. Isn't he adorable? He's already adopted. We're waiting for his, he has to get neutered because he had to get his weight up before he could get neutered. Stop trying to eat my yarn. Stop it. Stop it. Put your face up. Look at everybody. Look up, see how cute you are. Hi. Hi, hi, hi. Go away. So, I really like these. I don't want to take them out of order, even though I already took a picture of them. But I have absolutely no idea what to make with them, and I really wanted to make something with them, like now. Like right now, I wanted to make something. Like as soon as the Mayas are done, I wanted to make something. So if you have any pattern recommendations for minis, these are 20 gram tents. This is 200 grams of yarn in minis. I tried searching Ravelry, but I had a real hard time finding mini projects. I'd like a shawl, obviously, because what else are you going to do with this, you know, spooky goodness? So anyway, let's get into dye projects now, okay? So what I wanted to show you is this is the DK that we did last month, and this is the sport that we dyed last month. I wanted to have them here so you could see them. give you some of the color. This color I just started loving the more and more I worked with it. The subtle differences. See that color got like blue, some periwinkle, that blue, and then the purple. Just really, really gorgeous for a color that I was not crazy about beforehand. And then I kind of fell in love with her. Really, really came out beautiful. And like I said in my other video, I want to repeat it on a dye project video. If you want to make these in the same colors I did, make them, use them, sell them. I don't care. Have fun, do whatever you want. If you want to pop my name in there so I get some views or something, that's fine with me. And this is the DK. I'm just going to kind of do this because I think you can see it better if I do that. Which is absolutely gorgeous. I think both of those colors came out ridiculously beautiful. Okay, so today's dye project. And then I have something else to discuss with you after that. I'm jumping on a bandwagon. I'm jumping on the bandwagon to Amsterdam. The Catenas that were brown are now all black. You're seeing a little bit brown because I used a brown thing to, because these were in donuts, I had to rehank them. So these are all black. Black, 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 black. So this is going to be the Ursa sweater. So let's talk about how we did those. Even though that's really easy, and I mean, you guys still care about that, right? You still want to know how you do the easy stuff, right? If you're new here. Okay. Catena, right here in the bottom. We had 250 gram, because I have 5 of those, and they are each 50 gram, and I wanted to do a 3% depth of shade black. So I split them into 2 pots, because each, even though they're 50 grams, because of the way they're spun, the chainette, they feel like a full skein. They don't feel like a 50 gram skein. They take up as much room as a real skein, as a full 100 gram skein. So in one pot I had 2 skeins, so I had 1 gram, and then in the other pot I had 3 skeins, so I had 1.5 grams. So to get the 3% depth of shade, we needed 3 grams for the 1 gram and 4.5 for the 1.5 grams. And that was done full immersion in the stock pot. How I do it, I fill it up. What I do is I take my stock pots, and the night before I put the yarn in, and I fill them to where it's just over the yarn. So the yarn's fully submerged. Press it down, make sure it's just fully submerged right underwater. You know, they're just like this. They go in just like this in the thing. I feel like these got a little bit felted. Put them in with just enough water, and I do the just enough water so I can come in and mix up the water, and then I can add the I mix the dye up in water, obviously, and then I put it in the pot that they're in, and then I fill it up with water so they have enough to be fully immersed and, you know, move around. So that's what I did for those. And then you don't touch them. You just leave them. Don't touch them. I mean, you can pull them out and stir around. Like, that's what I do. I pull them out and I stir. After I put everything in and I have the water level right, I pull them out and I stir everything to make sure the dye is mixed with the water. And then I put them back down. And then I put the temperature, let it come up to temperature, which takes a couple hours. It is in a stock pot full of water. So when it gets up to temperature, sometimes I will measure the temperature, and sometimes I just wait until it like starts steaming a little bit. I don't let it bubble ever. I keep it under bubble. But once it's steaming, that's a pretty good indication. I like to dye at about 185. That is a good, for me, 185 is good. I might go a little bit lower if it's, probably should have gone a little bit lower for that. A little bit lower for cashmere and, you know, more delicate fibers. I'd go down a little bit. Maybe 165, 175. But I do not let it bubble ever. Right. So once it gets to temperature, I pull them up again and I put in my acid, which is citric acid, and I stir it, and then I put them back in, and then I leave them for like an hour, and then I'll move them over or pull them up and see if the water is clearing. If it's clear, I put them down. I let them go overnight. I just left them in the pot because that stock pot takes hours to cool down, and frankly I don't want to deal with it, so I just leave it on the stove and walk away. So that's how those were done, and then the next morning I rinsed them. Now I'm going to show you, I guess we'll show the DK first. Neither of these came out the way I planned. So let's go DK. For DK, whoops. Okay, for DK here, I planned, okay, so this full immersion, 3% platinum, which was 3 grams. And then I speckled. So that was 1. Here's platinum, 3 gram, 3%. This is what I was going for, this color. That's not what this base turned out to be. And I gotta tell you, this base was so dark. This base was like literally so dark gray. I was like, well, that's darker than I was planning on. This gray was so dark. It was so much darker. It was probably like this dark. Okay, it was like this. And I don't know what happened. It's not there anymore at all. So once I did the 3 grams, that was full immersion, 3 grams. And then I decided I was going to speckle the crap out of it. So I speckled with oxblood, espresso, and true black. And I think espresso was my problem. And then I steam set it. And guys, when I was steam setting it in the steam, I did it on the stove. I got a new thing where the pot and then the steamer goes on top. Because I do have a steamer pan for my cooking thing, but then you have to wait for it all to cool down, and it's just not, if I did them 2 different days, it would be fine, because I was doing them all at once. It didn't work. So I speckled the crap out of this. I'm not even kidding you. Like, I speckled the crap out of it. So first I did oxblood, and then I did the espresso, and the espresso, I'm not even sure you see it. Maybe we see some right there, maybe. And then I went over with a lot of black, because I wanted this heavy, you know what I mean? I wanted this heavy speckling. I didn't want no, light speckles. I wanted some serious heavy speckling. I pretty much stayed to one side because I didn't want there to be too much speckling all over. And I gotta tell you, when I rinse this, there was no color came out. I was like, how did no color come out of this? So I'm going to tell you how I speckle. First of all, I'm going to show you 2 things I cannot live without. This is a battery powered milk frother. And what I do is in my pans, my chafing pans, my, you know, for, what do you call them? I never know what to call them. The catering pans. Catering pans that go in my cooker thing. You know what I mean. So catering pans. So I put the dye in those pans, okay? Here's what I do. Put this in clear water. Put this in plain water. Let it come up to temp, because again, it takes like an hour. Well, less if I use my 1/3 pan, so it takes less. So I put this in fully covered so it can soak and everything, come up to temperature. I pull this out, put my dye in, and then I do this. All in it, okay? To mix it up. That's full immersion. Then I let it go in the full immersion until it was the gray that I want. I'm still mad that this isn't gray, but I'm afraid to over dye with gray and mess it up at all. Because that means I'm going to lose that oxblood orangey red is going to go away. And I don't want that to go away. So I wonder what would have happened if I didn't use espresso, if I used the teddy bear brown maybe, or just use the oxblood and the black, since I think I'm going to try this again with maybe, or a different gray, a darker gray, and then just do black and oxblood and see what happens. But anyway, this is what I use for, it's called a baker's dusting wand. So what I do, it's this handy dandy thing, and on one side it's solid, and on the other side it has these, you know, sprinkle thingies. Small little dots. So you do this, okay? And then when it's open, I put some citric acid in there. Really finely ground citric acid in there. And then I take a little spoon tip of dye, whatever dye I'm using, and I put it in there, and then I mix it around with the spoon handle. I just go until it's all in there. And then I take this like sideways, so I have more control over how it comes out, you know, so it's sideways. So it's not like this where it's all coming out. You just go like this sideways. I'm sure if you watch like some cake dusting thing, it would probably show you how to use it, but that's how I used it. And that's how I got these awesome speckles. So I wanted something that gave me a little bit more control, and I didn't want to pinch every little bit because I knew I wanted heavy speckles. I didn't want like delicate speckles. So if you want the heavy speckles, I would totally recommend. Now I think the secret is adding the citric acid in with the dye itself. So after this had the first, the gray put on it, which the gray is no more. You know what I mean? I did not rinse it because it had acid in it. So I squeezed it out. I let it dry a little bit till it was damp, and then I laid it out. And then the citric acid and the dye and did on one side and flipped it over. And then I put it in my steamer pan and steamed it. And then I took it out. It was still gray. It didn't not turn gray until it dried, I think. And I didn't have enough black speckles, so that's when I did the black speckles again and re-steamed it. And then I just left it for overnight. I left everything for overnight. And here's the thing, though. You notice that this looks nothing like our Maya colors, right? Our Maya colors of pink and gray. So here's what I'm doing. I'm saving this to go with these two, which is also going with my current whip. So this is going to be Malala. These are all Malala. okay? Because, oh my God, hello, Malala. So, for Maya, I'm going to undo Dana, and she's going to be Maya, okay? And that way, we can see what happens there. That's my plan. So, on to dye number. Remember, we still got one more. We still got sport weight. Did you see my pictures on Instagram? I was dying. Okay, so I'm really getting sick and tired of these DK ones turning out like perfectly, because I put my better idea on sport. And so far it's been a disaster both times. It's been a complete disaster. Like, oh, no, we're not going to do that at all. So I was so mad at this thing. I was so mad. Okay, so sport. We did a lot of things with sport. So let me talk to you about what we did first. My plan was Platinum 1. This is my plan. I was going to do it Platinum 1. So I was going to have Platinum 1 and Platinum 3. I was going to have nice gray bases to start with. Okay? And then I looked at this, Twilight 0.25, and I was like, oh, that would look nice, wouldn't it? But actually, what I was looking at was let me show you. This is actually what I was looking at. Tornado 2.5. Pretty similar. So I wanted to do these two. This was my plan, these two. Nice, right? But in my confusion, Tornado Gray, I grabbed Twilight Gray, which you think, oh, those look almost the same. What's the difference? Class, do you know what the difference is? Twilight Gray is blue. I now have taken Twilight Gray out of my thing because I'm so angry about it. Okay. Right here. Here's my Twilight Grays. Ready? Oh my God, seriously? Those are blue. Those are blue, blue, and blue. Blue. Now remember, we've used Twilight Gray before. We used it on the red, on Red Linda, on Sport Linda, because she was red, remember? And I said, oh, if we put blue on her, it'll make it like a purple. Remember, we got a little purpley red in her. That is not what happened this time, because we put it on this, you know, very light gray. I'm not kidding you. It went purple. Go look at my Instagram. It was blue. It was blue. 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 It's still blue. It's still blue. So then, what did I do? Because I hate blue. I did not want it blue. So, oh, what I did was, I did this really cool twist that Rebecca did on ChemKnits. You twist both ends, and you make, like, it's like a twisty bread. Have you ever made twisted bread where you just twist the dough? You know, twisty. So it's like the same, but with yarn. So I twisted all the way around in the pan. I did like a U shape. And then I was like spooning it over top. Now I didn't actually do 0.25 grams. That's how much of dye I did, but I think I put it in like 200 milligrams of water. So it was actually like half of this would have been the depth of shade, actually. Because I wanted to be able to put more on if I wanted to, because I didn't know how dark it was going to be. Obviously 0.25, but that's 0.25 over 100 grams, and I knew we weren't going over 100 grams. But I still thought it was a light enough color. Okay, does that make sense? Oh, it doesn't matter. Anyway, because we didn't even get the gray we were going through, we got blue, like total blue. I was so angry. So I meant tornado gray, and we did twilight gray. Did I tell you it's not kept where my dyes are now? It's not there. I took it out of there and I put it with the peacock blue and the fire engine red that I don't use. So then, to try to fix it, I did a bath with 0.01 tornado to see if we could darken it up. Like, just if we could get that blue to be gray, and even if we had to darken up the other gray, we would still just darken gray. Then that didn't work, and I said, okay, what if I put pink over the blue, then it'll go purple, and I don't mind purple, but I did 0.1 deep magenta, and it didn't do anything. So I put in another, I should have just done 0.5, but I didn't. I did 0.9, so we would get we would get 1 gram. Because I'm an idiot sometimes, and I don't think. And oh my god, that just went like bright pink. Because we only have 1 gram of platinum, so that platinum really didn't do anything to that at all. Like, it's not like we had a nice gray base, so it would tone it down. So then I did 0.13 grams of tornado. What an arbitrary number. I don't even know where that came from. At that point, I was just throwing shit at it to see what would happen. So the 0.3 grams, right? 0.13 grams of tornado. I don't know why. I thought maybe a glaze would take down the pink. It was so pink, like I left it overnight. I was like, I just threw it in the thing, and I was like, I'm not even looking at it. So then I went to bed and cleared my head, and I was like, okay, I woke up in the morning. I had a clear plan of what I was going to do. And that was silver gray. And I overdyed in increments of 25 grams. Drifter. I almost did another 50, then I'm like, now let's do another 25. So a total of 125 grams to give us this, which is not terrible. It's blue, pink, and purple that is still very blue, that is very, very blue. And I'm not even like that upset with it, really. It's just not at all what I wanted, but I think it has enough like, it's almost like this, but just the colors are a bit different, but it has this feel to it where there's a lot of different colors going on. I think it'll work out nicely is what I'm trying to say, but that blue just makes me stabby. But again, really nice color in the end. I was like, when it was pink and purple, I'm like, I'm just gonna dye it black afterward. But then I took a minute, slept on it, and then went, that silver gray was another one I wanted to play with. So it got us a little bit dustier. Again, a color I won't make again, but I think we at least fixed it. And so I'm kind of excited to have these two together in the same project. However, I'm not entirely sure when I'm going to redo Dana, so I'm not sure if she's going to make it to the Dana party release next week. Just because I have so much to do. And I'm trying to also get Malala done. Okay, so that is September dye project. I want to talk about the shawlography knit along, everybody, because I've never done a Stephen West pattern before, and I'm not his biggest fan, just because his things are a little too colorful for me and they're a little too jarring. But this one intrigued me, so I have some things and I wanted to see if you had any ideas. Because here's my problem. As a goth person and a goth dyer, goth girl TM, now we need 5 colors this time. 5 colors, he said, light, medium, dark, and then pops a color. So, even though I hate using too much gray with black, I'm thinking of doing these 2 and then dyeing a lighter gray. So that could be my light, medium, and dark. And then here's where my pops of color come in. I love this. You guys know I love this color. Okay. I also have this color. This is the same base, but they are too close together. I mean, you can see a difference here, but really, do you see this? Not a difference. This is a crimson and this is a like wine, like burgundy wine. And this is for real crimson scarlet red. Okay, so this is purpley red and this is just dark red. So I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I can turn this to that will... And the only thing I can think of is like a dark purple, and I'm not sure that's the way I want to go. So I also have this color, which is not that purple. It is a pink, and it's actually a good purpley pink to go with the purple tones of this, but I'm wondering if it's too light. So I do have, if we're going to go gray, then this, I have another undyed. I was thinking teal. I was thinking a deep teal to match this because I love wine and teal together. I don't know why, I just do. Okay. I could also darken this. This is light enough I could darken it, but to what? So like I for sure, these are the only 2 I'm sure about. Because like I want every other color to be black. But I need to do 5. So right now I have this idea, but I don't know if this pink is too pink for me. Not if it's too pink. I think it'll be great contrast with every color. I think I picked like 3% platinum for this. But each one has good contrast with each other, which is what I wanted, that you would totally be able to see. But I know I'm not going to use this red, so I really wanted to overdye it. But I mean, I can always overdye this black and use it for something else. It's not a big deal. I also won't use this. So this looks like... Oh, it's like this looks like this, but it really doesn't. So if I overdye this, I kind of have to go like a purpley or a gray. I don't know. But right now I'm with this to be on the safe side with another gray. But I do have an extra in case I want to do teal. But I don't know if I'll like teal with... Will I like teal with everything? Oh, I should just get a gauge swatch and look at my teal gauge swatch. I also wanted to make this really deep purple, but then I really don't like purple and red directly next to each other. I like them in the same project, but not touching. That makes no sense. So anyway, I'm wondering if there are any other goth knitters out there trying to pick colors, and like that's kind of my whole thing with being a goth indie dyer, is to get these goth colors. And I have a lot of, like, obviously you could do 2 colors, just 1 color is black, but then the 3 colors is what I'm actually developing right now, is 3 colors, like my green and my purple, and stuff, because I'm tired of seeing we either get gray or we get red, and that's all we get. So I wanted to come up with some other, I think 5 is a lot to start with, though, when I haven't even gotten all, because I wanted to start with 2 is obviously easy. You can pick any 2 colors, and 1 is black. And then the other just has to be dark enough to go with it. So, oh my God, now their landscapers are here. Good, we're almost done. Okay, so my next thing was to put 3 colors together, 1 color being black, and then I have to work on 2 goth colors that complement each other and also work with black. So it's just the point that right now where he's calling for 5 colors is not where I'm at in my goth color journey, but I still really want to do this for next month because I think it would be nice. I think it would be nice to get away from everything else I've been doing. Oh my God, those are asphalt people. It's not even. Okay, anyway. If you have any ideas for those, please put them in the comments or whatever. Next week is Dana's release, so we'll have Dana release next week. She may or may not be in there, but it doesn't matter because I already have pictures and, well, actually, then I won't. It doesn't matter. I'll have pictures. I don't know. I mean, not every shawl has to be featured in the pattern, but I need to make every shawl to give you the rundown of the end, which is something I'm not going to do with Malayla and that series, because as I'm working, I'm using, as a guide, I'm using Eleanor's ending. It's the same ending. It's really the same ending. So I'm not going to do that for all of Malayla. Malayla is going to have 1, and then I'm going to say work 30 grams, insert this, and then we'll go with the end of, then we'll have you return to the end of Malayla when you get to the numbers like that, which is probably how I should have done the other ones, but that way it doesn't matter how much you're using. It doesn't matter if you're using 2 skeins. You can go to 30 grams of your last skein. So it's just a lot easier than having to do each one, which is probably what I'm going to do when I rework the patterns. I'm probably going to rework them that way. Anyway, I'm going to take a look. And I mean, I'm probably not, if it's going to take more than that, they're not going to be ready next week with Dana because I got to write Dana. I got so much crap to do. It's like ridiculous. Did I show you everything? Oh my God, like, how did this come out of me? I don't even know. But it's so perfect for I can't even stand it. So that means Malayla is only going to be 1. Okay, guys, what do I do? Because I had names for the other 3. So do you think I just do them? I mean, I could just make up 1 in whatever weight I want and use that as pictures, because the rest is going to be whatever the end of Malayla is. Maybe I'll do that so I can still release them all. That is my plan. That's what I'll do. And maybe they'll all be worsted weight. I don't know. I don't even have any worsted weight base. It's like the one base I don't have. I probably have a million like DKs that are 231. I think I do have a bunch of 231 DKs. But anyway, it doesn't matter because you just work to 30 grams and then that's all I do. I work the 30 grams until I get close to the end of the thing. So, and I think the structure of the Malayla is a little bit not as beginner friendly as the Eleanor's. So I think if you've done the Hillary's are for sure beginner, and those are only on one size. Then like I would do a Hillary, then I would do one of these, maybe the Eleanor, or probably this one's probably the second easiest to Eleanor. And then I would do the Malayla because the Malayla is going to be harder to do. Anyway. I I don't even know what's going on over there, and I don't care. I'm so, like, relieved about my dog. I'm so grateful to the universe that my dog is going to be okay. I'm grateful that I fixed this and we're going to use this instead of that. I'm looking at this going, how fortuitous. How fortuitous, because I immediately thought of cashmere and I was like, oh my god, it's like this but like with speckles. So I think it's going to look, I think that is going to be my favorite one, maybe. Okay, guys, I'm gonna try and leave. I really don't want to have to wait till they leave to say goodbye, so we can't. There's always something making noise over here. Okay. Okay, are you doing the shawl? Are you doing the shawlography? Are you doing the shawlography? Tell me what you. Ooh, are you? Put a picture of your yarn on Instagram and at me in it, or tag me or something. At me so I can see them. If you're goth knitting, are you a goth knitter? Do you know any goth knitters? Can you introduce me to some goth knitters? Okay, guys, I'm out of here before these guys get louder. So take care of yourselves. I will see you next week. Goodbye.